Alrighty, everybody. Welcome to episode number 67 of the Below the Yellow Line podcast. I'm your host, Joe Lanny Pavlon. Alongside with me is, of course, my partners Daniel Fort and Justin Hebert. How's it going, Justin?
I'm good.
That's great. We had another jam-packed weekend of motorsport. And This will certainly go into the books. That's why it's the title one for the books, because honestly, it's hard to put into words what went on the racetrack, and especially what happened yesterday in the Cup Series race. We got to start off with the Cup Series here. Cole Custer, in just his 24th start, won his first Cup Series race, and of all places,
at Kentucky.
At Kentucky, a track that is pretty much exclusive, almost exclusive for veteran drivers to dominate and secure wins.
Yeah.
His entire career, Cole Custer has led just 5 laps, and those 5 laps have all came at yesterday's Cup Series race. And I kid you not, that was just his third top 10 finish.
And also, people that don't remember, Cole Custer won there last year. Custer won the Xfinity Series race at Kentucky, which yesterday, when I saw Cole Custer making that 4-wide move, I'm like, oh my gosh, he had the massive run. And he did get, on that restart, he got pushed by Matt DiBenedetto, who ran in the front, then in the back. I remember DiBenedetto at one point was mad on the radio and ended up finishing third. Like, when I saw Cole Custer make that move on the outside when Blaney and Harvick made the contact, when I saw that move, I'm like, oh my gosh, he has it, because Truex was kind of slowed down by that too, and he cleared him and ended up making it to the start-finish line.
Yes, they were 4 wide at the final lap.
Yeah.
Blaney on the very bottom, working that apron, which was nearly untouchable.
Yeah. Then you have
Martin Truex Jr.
up high next to Custer. You had Harvick between Blaney and Truex, and had Custer on the outside of Truex, and Blaney ended up hitting a bump on his onboard on the replay. He hit a bump in the Harvick, which gave a left rear rub on Harvick's car.
I thought for a moment Harvick was just going to spin and was much fun. He managed to finish third. Let's go down and look at the results here. We'll talk about some interesting facts about the Cup Series race. And as for rookie winners, which we've not seen too often in the recent years, but Cole Custer led 5 laps from 29th. It's his first career win. Stewart-Haas Racing up to par, of course. Ford is the manufacturer where they have the 2 best teams sharing the same brand. While Chevrolet kind of in the hands of Hendrick Motorsports, and Toyota is all Joe Gibbs.
Yeah,
Ford at Stewart-Haas Racing and Penske. And Team Penske.
And also, people that don't remember about Cole Custer's victory, it's been the first time a rookie won a race in a full-time season since Chris Buescher at Pocono in 2016. So it's been many races.
Right. But here's another fact. And I know we're excluding some other winners out there who scored their first career wins, like Justin Haley and Trevor Payne. But we'll get into them in a minute. But as for the full duration of a race, this is the first time a rookie who has intended to be a rookie in the Cup Series won a full duration Cup Series race in the rookie year since Juan Pablo Montoya outlasted everybody at Sonoma back in 2007.
Yeah, it's 13 years. But Cole Custer, people say, oh, he didn't deserve it. Well, Custer was not in the back. He started in 29, but running in the top 10 most of the race. You need to get a good restart, which that's what Custer did. He got a good restart, and he was there, made 4 wide on the outside because he had the run. So, and people say Custer drove dirty there. He did not hit anybody. He went on the outside.
He did what any driver would do.
Yeah.
He wants to win a race that badly in the Cup Series. Well, we'll get back to Custer in just a minute because there were other drivers out there like Martin Truex Jr., who really led for a good portion of the race, at 57 laps from ninth off the grid. We'll get into Truex in a little bit. Matt DiBenedetto led 1 lap, started 10th, finished 3rd. Kevin Harvick finished 4th after leading 11 laps. Kurt Busch, who I predicted to win, who won the race last year, just like kind of like this year, another dueling battle, but against his own brother Kyle. That was last year. Now Kurt finished 5th again, or 5th, and getting another top 5 here this year. Ryan Blaney led 18 laps, finished 6th, started 11th. Now he was pretty much at a shot to lead before getting loose on the white flag. Yeah. Christopher Bell finished 7th. Eric Almirola, jeez, when is this guy going to win? 128 laps, on stage 1, has to finish 8th. We'll get into Almirola a little bit later. Brad Keselowski, kind of that same deal, but, at least he's had better luck closing out races. Keselowski won stage 2, the 34 laps, started 6th, finished in the 9th spot. Tyler Reddick finished in 10th. Now, 24th. We'll get down here some. Before I talk about Reddick, I have something to say because you've heard me mention this multiple times before. And now that my prediction is wrong, I said Tyler Reddick would be the first rookie to win in 2020. Oh, it could have happened many times, but just Cole Custer out of nowhere. I don't think anybody saw that coming. Let me finish these results here. William Byron finished 11th, led 4 laps, started 21st. Denny Hamlin started 12th, finished 12th. Joey Logano, who started 2nd, had a very up and down day, finished 15th. Jimmy Johnson towards the front after some contact around the 3rd quarter of the race with Brad Keselowski, has to finish in 18th. Kyle Busch, who started on pole, led 9 laps, finished 21st after some issues during the middle portions of the race. And Chase Elliott, who started 8th, finished in 23rd. So let me go back to Tyler Reddick. Now, I don't want to discredit Tyler Reddick at all just because I have a prediction that didn't work. I mean, we all make bad hypothetical statements, but geez, if you told me ending in the season Cole Custer is going to win before Tyler Reddick, I'd be like, no way.
Yeah, and also about how Tyler Reddick's not won. Sometimes it's the car that just doesn't want to cooperate sometimes. He was running 10th through 15th the whole race. He was not up there. Custer started all the way in 29th and ends up moving through the field and gets in the top 10. And also, people don't understand, and people don't actually realize, but there's actually 3 rookies in the top 10. Custer, Bell, and Reddick all finished in the top 10. And which people don't remember, they were the big 3 in the Xfinity Series last year. And they ended up finishing all in the top 10. And I did not expect Cole Custer to win. And people don't realize, this ends the dry spout for the 41 team of winning. Last time the 41 won before was 2018 Bristol with Kurt Busch because Schwartz did not win. He was just...
he was okay, but just couldn't find victory.
Yeah, which Cole Custer, not just this race, Indy, he got a top 5 by pushing Kevin Harvick on the restart, and he ended up getting a top 5, which there's momentum there, and he carried this momentum into Kentucky.
Right. And we can finish what you're saying there. I'm sorry.
I was thinking about that momentum helped Cole Custer win, and also this is the second Stewart-Haas car to win since Eric Almirola in 2018 at Talladega was the last
time a driver outside of Kevin Harvick won.
Yeah, because the 14's last win when Boyer came at Michigan, Almirola was at Talladega, the 41 was Bristol in 2018, and then Harvick was the only winner for Stewart-Haas in 2019. 2020 for most of it, except now Cole Custer has a victory. which so that means if people don't know, because Cole Custer won, he's in the All-Star race.
Yeah, and we'll get to the All-Star race later on in the podcast. As for now, the Cup Series, we'll get into let's talk about the point standings. Of course, they'll be heading into Texas for the next race, which is round 18 to 36. But here's what the playoff standings will look like. So Kevin Harvick leads the board with 675 points. Now, I usually write down just the points, but now that I have my stats and the playoffs are just 9 races away from now.
Favorite thing.
Kevin Harvick is up front with 675 points. He's got 4 wins, just like Denny Hamlin. Now, Hamlin has 553 points, which will be good for seeding once the season starts.
Yeah, because like Denny Hamlin, there's some other races. Indy did not help. Indy, that basically lost points. And then, that's one reason that didn't help. He didn't get, Hamlin lost points from Indianapolis, which.
Right. But I think, Hamlin's in a good spot. Of course, winning 4 races does help you for the playoffs because you get those bonus points, which will appear when the regular season's all said and done. Yeah. Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano have 2 wins apiece. Keselowski has 587 points so far. Logano has 564. As for Joey Logano, I think Logano had an off day yesterday, but he'll come back. A track like Texas might suit him, which we'll get into Texas later in the episode. Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Martin Truex Jr., Alex Bowman, and now Cole Custer are in the playoffs. So 9 drivers are locked in with wins. These drivers are now in on points. So seeds 10 through 16. Eric Almirola is the highest on that list with 92 points ahead of the cut line. Kurt Busch is plus 80. Kyle Busch plus 65. Max Benedetto plus 44. Good Boyer plus 23. And then it gets tight. William Byron plus 6. And Jimmy Johnson, of course, plus minus 0. He's on the cut line. So outside of the 412-point barrier that you need to get if you are Jimmy Johnson or if you're behind Jimmy Johnson. So let's continue with these drivers. Austin Dillon is 17th, minus 24 from the cut line. And 18th and 19th, they're tied with 42 points below cut line. Eric Jones, Tyler Reddick, and way back 20th with 84 points behind the cut line is Bubba Wallace. But as we saw, heading into this race, Cole Custer was 24th in points. Yeah,
and because of that, of him winning, but like just regular season standings, he went from 24th to 20th in just the regular season standings. He's gained 4 spots in the standings, which if Custer keeps like his momentum, like in the regular driver standings, he could climb up if he just continues the momentum in the Texas. He might gain more points on some drivers. Because like you have Stenhouse in front of him, which I don't know how he's gonna do. You still have Bubba in front of him and Chris Buescher. If they're inconsistent and Custer's more consistent, he'll climb up the points. And I did not expect Eric Jones to be out of the cutoff right now. Like
he's been going through struggles.
Like last year, Custer did win at the Southern 500, but before that, he was not doing like running all the way in the back.
But even if Jones didn't win the Southern 500, he still would have made the playoffs without a doubt.
Yeah.
This is not the case.
No, he's something's just like his team's just
the competition level is much higher than it's been the last few years in the Cup Series. It's another thing.
But also, it's just like weird that there's other people like Austin Dillon and Tyler Reddick are like Austin Dillon's ahead of him in the standings, which is odd. Eric Jones should be ahead of him, but some races Eric Jones is not performing. Some races like Indianapolis. Remember the first race at Pocono and Indianapolis, Eric Jones crashed out, which that literally hurt him.
But here's the thing, though. Austin Dillon has 4 top 10s and 1 top 5 this year. And if we look at Eric Jones in 2020, He does have more top 10s at 6.
Yeah,
and more top 5s at 4. But he's only led 27 laps. That's very unlike him.
Yeah. Leading 27 laps. Like, you have to lead to be in the front, you have to lead some laps and all that. Like, Eric Almirola right now, he's leading laps. He's starting in the front, but like Eric Jones, he's not in the top 12 in owner points, which that hurts him. Remember, it hurts Eric Jones' starting positions. He's always starting outside the top 12. Like, the top 12, like Eric Almirola, Kyle Busch, Kurt Busch, all of them in the top 12. They always guarantee to qualify first or 12th. Eric Jones is guaranteed to qualify between 13th and 24th, which doesn't help. People say it doesn't help, but Cole Custer's was qualifying between 25th and 36th. Like, he was 29th yesterday where he started and ended up winning the race. But you also have to have a good car. In some races, Eric Jones' car does not handle well, which is not a good sign.
So, with that said, let's get into some Xfinity racing. We had a doubleheader at Kentucky, and boy, were both races eventful. Absolutely. So, race one was a 200-mile race, the Shady Race 200. And Austin Cindric, who led 41 laps from 12th off the grid, scored his third career victory. Finally, won at an oval.
Yeah.
It took a while, but he definitely put the exclamation point on that drought.
Yeah, he had a fast car, which people were butthurt. I'm like, he has a fast car, so don't get butthurt. And people said he was cheating. I don't know how he was cheating.
Also, there's no reason to respond to every single comment that you see on social media, because sometimes there's a lot of illogical people out there.
People say he had a nitrous boost in the car, like DRS. I'm like, he didn't have
like one. That's just talent.
Yeah, but he didn't have DRS because you didn't see a rear flap open and close, so that means he doesn't have DRS. Because DRS wouldn't work at a NASCAR race. You would literally, oh my gosh, I just thought about it. DRS at Martinsville or Bristol. DRS at Bristol, you open down the straight, right as it's on the corner, you turn it. You literally have to press a button on and off because you can't have in the corners. That's never going to work. So yeah, NASCAR will never have DRS just for fans, just to let the. Yeah,
I mean, that's what we have for the Gen 7. So yeah, there's that. So let's go down the list. Riley Herbst finished second. We're gonna have a lot about Harrison going on later for races too. Riley Herbst finished second after starting 23rd for his career best finish. Second time it's happened. The other time was at Fontana, finishing second behind teammate Harrison Burton. Which I kept calling him Harrison Burton for no reason. Ross Chastain started second, finished third. Chase Briscoe, the points leader, led 5 laps, started 7th, finished 4th. Michael Lynette started 4th, finished 5th. Anthony Alfredo finished in 6th. Justin Haley, who led 3 laps from 9th off the starting grid, finished in 7th. Kyle Weatherman, we gotta give this guy some spotlight here. Kyle Weatherman scored his best career finish. Started 30th. He finished 8th. His best career finish as a driver. But as for Mike Harmon Motorsports, this team has been around since the 2000s. They've never finished in the top 10 at all in 282 attempts. The team finally finished in the top 10.
And also, people think that Mike Harmon's cars are quick. They're not. They're one of the worst cars ever. Some of their cars they use, before the Dodge thing, they used to run Dodge in 2018 and 2017.
No factory support or anything. They were running Dodges that ran in 2011, 2012.
Yeah. You saw you didn't see. like including I remember one great moment. No, it's not too great, but it was Atlanta 2017 in qualifying. Mike Carmen's Dodge blew up, but the funniest thing about it, like people have driver pictures, but Mike Carmen's driver pictures, he has sunglasses on. Yeah, but like
Here's the thing, he deserves a lot of credit.
yeah,
Being in the sport and winning that long for a top 10.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was special to say the least.
Yeah.
Ryan Sieg finished 9th after starting 8th, and Brett Moffitt for Our Motorsports, new team, great team, with good people. They finished in 10th. As for some other drivers, Noah Gragson led the most laps. He led 87 laps, won Stage 1, Stage 2 from the pole, finished 11th. Harrison Burton finished 17th, and Justin Allgaier, who had a terrible crash on the final lap with Ronnie Bassett Jr. and Timmy Hill, retired, finishing 20th. Now, Justin Allgaier was admitted to the hospital overnight between race 1 and race 2, but doctors have confirmed it was not a crash-related situation that led to the evaluations, but Allgaier was medically cleared to race for race 2, and now race 2 looked like this. So
also, wait, I was about to say, if people didn't know what happened, Allgaier was actually, his heart rate was really elevated, and that crash, nobody noticed. Timmy Hill's window net came down somehow. I don't know what happened there, and that there's some kind of like person that kind of tweeted that the wrong way. Dylan Bassett, Ronnie's brother, did a tweet about.
He was frustrated. That team almost finished in the top 10, or possibly.
Yeah, and this person was bashing. Dylan Bassett was bashing Justin Allgaier. That was the time he was going to the hospital. So yeah, that was not a good time.
Yeah, I mean, I probably wouldn't have tweeted that out.
Yeah,
at the same time.
Yeah.
Race car drivers get frustrated fairly quickly, especially when a top 10 was in sight.
Yeah.
That happens. Now race 2 looks like this. So Austin Cindric, once again, winning stage 2. He led 130 laps more than any other driver.
Yep.
From 15th for his 4th career win. So a sweep at Kentucky. Then second place, Chase Briscoe led 2 laps, started 12th. So first and second for the Fords. Justin Haley finished 3rd. Ross Chastain led 5 laps, finished in the 4th spot. Justin Allgaier finished in 5th.
Yeah.
Wow, what a comeback for him. He was like legit outside the top 15. And even a lap down before the end of stage 1.
That was an impressive comeback for Justin Allgaier.
Anthony Alfredo, who almost had to start the race from the pit road due to a steering malfunction, finished 6th. Noah Gragson, who won stage 1, led 37 laps, finished 7th. We'll get into him and Harrison Burton a little bit later. Michael Annett finished 8th after starting 11th. So good night for the Junior Motorsports team.
Yeah.
Daniel Hemrick, 7th and 9th. Yeah. Started 34th, finished 9th. Riley Herbst, another top 10. And then here's some notables. Jeremy Clements led 11 laps from 4th off the grid, finished in 11th. Harrison Burton, who led 15 laps, finished 12th. And pole sitter Mike Snyder retired, finishing 31st. So, yeah, let's get into what happened. Obviously, if you were hiding under a rock, you missed the whole thing. So let's get into the restart. What happened was Gragson and Harrison Burton, they both got loose way off the racing groove and lost a bunch of spots.
Yeah.
And that was very frustrating to both drivers, and during their post-race discussion, I don't want to say if it was a discussion, hands were thrown.
And people don't know. People thought it was Burton that punched Gragson first. No. It was Noah Gragson that threw the punch.
It was more of a push than a punch.
And also, the thing about, people think it was Harrison's fault, but the thing about it, why Harrison lost spots, Like when Gregson got loose, instead of turning the wheel back to the left, Gregson did the opposite. Gregson, for some reason, turned the wheel back to the right and put the 20 in the wall, which I'm like, you don't need to turn right to just put him in the wall again.
But at that point, his car was out of control.
But he saved it. He already saved it. He just turned it right for no reason after he saved it to put the 20 in the wall, which was, I'm like, yeah, that's embarrassing.
All right,
really
so
embarrassing.
The points look like this. Chase Briscoe is out front, 643 points over Noah Gragson, who has 624. Austin Cindric is third with 610. Ross Chastain is fourth, is 583 points, and down there in fifth is Justin Haley with 521. Harrison Burton is sixth with 492 points so far. Justin Allgaier has climbed up a little bit, still in seventh, but 1 spot behind Burton, or 1 point behind Burton for that sixth spot.
Yep.
Michael Annett is solid eighth. Brandon Jones, ninth. Riley Herbst in 10th with 376 points. And then the final 2 spots as the playoffs is looming in. 11th seed is Ryan Sieg with 364 points, and Brandon Brown is 12th with 321. Their next race will be the Texas 300, which is round 16.
Yeah. And people wonder who's outside the cutoff. Myatt Snider, that 93 car, he is outside the cutoff by basically Myatt Snider needs Brandon Brown to to not finish races, but some other races Snyder is going to be in his number 21, but some races when Alfredo drives or somebody else is in the 21, he's driving the 93 car.
I will say that we saw the strength in Austin Cindric that whole weekend.
Yeah. People say
that kind of performance tells me he's going to be a threat for this championship.
And people just keep saying daddy's money, money. Oh my God.
At this point, the whole daddy's money claim can be thrown out the window.
Yeah, like people say that people think that the drivers don't drive the car. People think rich people, it's the money that
the car drives you.
No,
it's kind of logic from fans. I don't get it.
Cars don't drive by themselves, and that if you see a NASCAR stock car driving by itself, it's not normal. You're the one driving you're the one turning the steering wheel, not the car. The car.
Last time I checked, a car driving you is in the Love Bug Herbie movie.
Yeah. Other than that,
if anyone actually puts Disney movies together is watching this, please bring that series back and actually put something that people would like to watch on, for networks like Disney Plus and all that.
Yeah.
But I will give you guys a thumbs up on Hamilton. That was a very good musical.
But yeah,
we'll be getting into another Hamilton later in this podcast, though.
But cars driving by themselves, that's not normal. If you see your car driving by yourself, you probably forgot to put it in gear, which is just don't. Basically, cars drive with a person driving. A person drives the car, not the car drives by itself. That wouldn't be too safe.
No.
Really.
Okay. So the Truck Series had a race that was kind of unfortunate. It was cut short with 71 laps due to weather, but we got results. So Sheldon Creed, who won stage 2, leading 20 laps from 8th, scored his first career win, which finally happened. I knew this was going to happen in 2020. It was a matter of when, not if. Ben Rhodes finished second after leading 6 laps and started 6th. Matt Crafton led a lap, finished 3rd. Johnny Sauter finished in 4th, so a decent run for the ThorSport team, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 5th place was Austin Hill. Christian Eck is 6th. Zane Smith won stage 1 after leading 11 laps. Started 2nd. Derek Krause, solid 8th. Tanner Gray finished in the 9th spot, and Todd Gilliland finished in 10th. Brett Moffitt, who led 26 laps from the pole, finished in 11th. Grant Enfinger finished 12th. Stuart Friesen, 15th. Tyler Ingram, 16th. Parker Kligerman, who led 7 laps from 37th off the grid, finished in the 18th spot. And Chandler Smith finished in 22nd. So, yeah, weather, I mean, what happened in this race other than weather? Because it's hard to pick anything out, really.
The thing about, there was a crash with Cody Robot crashed by himself, which was kind of interesting. But also, there was a crash with Brian Barnhill, Corbin Forrester, and Jennifer Jo Cobb, which Jennifer Jo Cobb, there's the crash clock rule. I guess she passed it. Do you want to know what she said to NASCAR on the radio? I know I have no rear bumper, but even without the rear bumper, we're not going to win the race. She literally yelled to NASCAR on the radio for saying that she's not going to win the race even with no bumper cover. Because even without that bumper cover, that 10 car wouldn't go any faster.
It's not wrong at the same time. Like, you're still going to finish in the back if you have that low equipment. But even then, these drivers do what they got to do. As for Sheldon Creed, this win was a long time coming.
Yeah. Last year, he's been close many times last year. And and it's the first driver, other than Grant Enfinger, to be a regular and winning a race.
Yes, that is true. All right, so the standings look like this. Austin Hill is the points leader with 293. He's just walking away at this point over Sheldon Creed. 1 point behind Creed, and third has been Rhodes. And
11 points between Creed. Yeah, Rhodes has 236, and Creed has 247. So, 11 points between Creed and Rhodes.
And Rhodes, and then Christian Eckes, Grant Enfinger, Zane Smith. They're pretty close in the battle for fourth in the championship. Todd Gilliland. You could throw Todd Gilliland in there as well. Johnny Sauter, Brent Moffitt, and Tyler Ankrum are your 10 drivers that are currently in the regular season we're in today. The
playoffs that Ian likes.
Yeah, Ian Brez 48 on YouTube.
Well, we know the playoffs are coming at one point. Next truck race, Texas, on Saturday night, which people are going to be mad, which, just a little spoiler, Kyle Busch is in the truck race, so don't get mad.
Round 8.
Yep.
And we'll get into Texas later when we make our predictions of that, because the entry list did come out this morning.
Yeah. Yep. All
right. Now let's shift gears with our paddles, because we'll talk some open wheel racing. We had IndyCar, Formula One, but let's start off with some IndyCar stuff. So we had 2 races at Road America for rounds 3 and 4 of the 14 race calendar. Hold on, I'm just trying to find a racing reference. Come on. Yes, the Rev Group Grand Prix at Road America. We had race 1, race 2.
Yep.
So Scott Dixon. In race 1, Scott Dixon led 16 laps from 9th off the starting lineup and picked up his 49th career win, second at Road America, and he's now getting close to reaching Mario Andretti's record of 52 wins. That's 3 more wins that Dixon needs to tie Andretti on the on the second all-time wins list. Obviously, 67 is AJ Foyt, most of all time. Well, Foyt's another story, and maybe another season or two. It's all depending on Dixon's decisions. Will Power led 10 laps, started 5th for his 77th career podium. Alex Palou started 14th, first career podium. Congratulations to the Spaniard. Ryan Hunter-Reay finished 4th. Colton Herta finished in the 5th spot. Santino Ferrucci started 6th, finished 6th. Pat O'Ward finished. Actually, no. Graham Rahal finished in 7th, led 2 laps, started 4th, and Pato O'Ward finished in the 8th spot. Takuma Sato finished in the 9th spot. In 10th place, leading 2 laps, starting 13th, was Marcus Ericsson for Chip Ganassi Racing. All right, so in 14th, starting on pole, so getting the extra points for pole position and leading the most laps at 25, so more points from there, is Joseph Newgarden. Newgarden did finish 14th.
Oh, jeez. He could have won.
That was your pick, right?
Yep. The car stalled twice on pit road. Remember, he stalled on pit road, which that really killed him. If he didn't stall on pit road, he would have had the lead.
He wasn't the only one stalling on pit road.
Yeah, which that was kind of annoying. Like, he had a fast car on Saturday. He really did good until his car stalled on pit road, which happens sometimes. You stall the car. It's not, people think it's easy getting out of pit road. No, it's not. You sometimes stall the car. It happens.
Yeah. So that was race 1. Now, race 2 was Felix Rosenqvist. Boy, this was a battle between 2 drivers in their sophomore seasons. Felix Rosenqvist becomes the first Swedish driver to win an IndyCar race since Kenny Brack back in 2002. After leading 8 laps from 7th off the starting grid. First career win for Felix Rosenqvist. And obviously, Chip Ganassi Racing is undefeated in 2020. We'll get more in the team later, but that's a great start.
Yeah.
Patricio O'Ward, Pato O'Ward finished in 2nd, leading 43 laps from the so he gets the points for pole position and leading the most laps. But boy, doesn't that come at a price. And finishing 2nd with some old tires and really non-budging lap car, and Connor Daly finishing in 2nd. But yeah, McLaren, on the McLaren side of things, they were about to score their first win in IndyCar since Johnny Rutherford in Atlanta 41 years ago.
Yeah, they were close.
And as for the team itself, the Schmidt-Peterson side of things, they have been winless since James Hinchcliffe at Iowa in 2018.
Oh, yeah, that win that Joseph Newgarden still confused how he lost, because Joseph Newgarden had like a 5-second lead, and then Hinchcliffe passed him and had a 9-second lead. Yeah, he had a 9-second lead at the end, and Newgarden still confused after.
Well, I mean, at least Newgarden got it back last year, didn't he, at Iowa?
Yeah, he did win last year, and that's the next race. If people don't remember.
We'll get into Iowa later in the podcast, though, as it is this weekend.
Yeah.
Let's see down the list. Alexander Rossi finally stopped the bleeding with his 20th career podium, first of the season. Started 10th, finished in 3rd.
Yep.
Finishing 4th, Marcus Ericsson. Ericsson started 16th, so very, very decent run for the Chip Ganassi squad. 5th place, Colton Herta, once again. 5th in both races. Santino Ferrucci, 6th in both races. Alex Palou, who got the podium, 3rd spot in race 1, finished 7th in race 2. Takuma Sato finished 8th. Joseph Newgarden finished in the 9th spot. And Charlie Kimball, 10th. Kimball started 13th. Now, Will Power led 4 laps. Had to settle for 11th. He had some early race contact. We'll get into the contact a little bit later as well. Scott Dixon, 12th, had some struggles in the pits. Ryan Hunter-Reay and Graham Rahal both retired on the opening lap after starting in the top 5. Now, let's get into what happened on the opening lap in race 2. When Ryan Hunter-Reay, Graham Rahal, and Will Power made contact, well, Will Power made contact with Graham Rahal, sending Rahal into the concrete barrier. Rahal was able to walk away, but not without frustration, of course. Yeah. And as for Ryan Hunter-Reay, Hunter-Reay started 4th, and car got out of shape on the front stretch.
Yeah.
So that triggered a safety car, and as a result, Will Power did get a drive-through penalty, or actually no, end-of-line penalty, and never really recovered. He actually had another incident, remember?
Yeah.
Going through the grass and causing another full course yellow.
That was a very unfortunate incident.
Oh yeah, let's go. Nice to have you on, Danny. Yeah, we're talking about IndyCar.
Yeah,
Race 2 Road America.
Yeah, that was a big accident for Hungary, and then Graham Rahal, and then another with who was it? Jack Harvey.
Harvey was in the. Yeah, Harvey got dumped by Ferrucci in turn 1 when Hungary wrecked, and then later, a couple laps later, Power was in the gravel trap in the final corner. He was stuck in the gravel and stalled the car.
Alrighty, so with that said, next race will be Iowa IndyCar 250, which is rounds 5 and 6 of 14. Standings look like this. Scott Dixon's walking away, looking for that 6th title. It's soon to come. If he can keep up the pace. 173 points over Colton Herta, who has 119 points. Simon Pagenaud and Paolo Ward are tied for 3rd with 110 points. Joseph Newgarden is 5th with 106 points. Marcus Ericsson 6th, 93 points, 1 point over Will Power in 7th. Felix Rosenqvist and Graham Rahal are tied for 8th and 9th with 88 points. And 10th is Santino Ferrucci with 87 points. So it's really close for some of these spots, except for guys, in the front like Scott Dixon, who was pulled away from Colton Herta.
Yeah.
I think I'll get into some IndyCar predictions later when we talk about Iowa, but Colton Herta has to do something impressive. He wasn't that decent in the ovals this year or last year.
Yeah.
I actually sent him back in points, but this year, the road courses favored him, so we might see something different. Maybe at Iowa, it's a different kind of oval. So we'll talk about that a little bit later, because we had Formula One, the Styrian Grand Prix. The Styrian Grand Prix, which was held at Spielberg once again.
Yeah, the Red Bull Ring.
Yeah, the Red Bull Ring for round 2 of 10. We now have 10 races as of now. Lewis Hamilton, who started on pole, never looked back. 85th career win and 152nd career podium. Now, if you look at the list, Lewis Hamilton is chasing 91. He's also chasing 7.
Yeah, he's close.
Schumacher leads the list of the winningest drivers in Formula One history.
91
championships.
With 91 wins, and for the most championships, that's 7.
Which Lewis is.
I think
he's really doing it.
I think that he could get 7 this year. And once he gets to 7, 8 will definitely be some sort of challenge. I feel it in my heart right now. If Lewis Hamilton gets 7 this year, with the amount of races that are on this season right now, he's bound to get 7 this year. But when he does, the following year, when that 8 championship pursuit goes on, it will definitely be a challenge for Lewis Hamilton, no doubt.
I mean, look at the drivers who it seems like the number 7 arises in the drivers who have the most championships in their respective leagues. AJ Foyt, 7 most championships in IndyCar. Supercars, Jamie Whincup, still chasing that 8. NASCAR, of course, Jimmy Johnson, and then past Dale Earnhardt. Dale Earnhardt, unlike Richard Petty, was very competitive after that 7 title, just could not get that 8. And Jimmy Johnson fell after that 7 title, but he's still in the loop.
Like, it's just like these things and people don't understand. People are saying that, Ferrari's going to get the title this year. I'm like, no. At this
Ferrari
point,
later, but I think if anyone is going to bring a Ferrari in the picture, because 7 is premier class. 9 Grand Prix World titles, yes, for Valentino Rossi. Yeah, so I'm just looking at the all-time best out there. The podium also looked like this. So Valtteri Bottas, who won the Austrian Grand Prix last week, finished in second. He qualified fourth, 47th career podium. Max Verstappen, fan favorite at the track, finished third after starting second for his 32nd career podium. Now let's look at the drivers who clinched some points. Alex Albon finished fourth after starting in the sixth spot for his career best finish for the second time. It happened before in the 2019 Japanese Grand Prix in Suzuka. Lando Norris finished fifth after starting in the ninth spot. Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll. How about Racing Point? Double points for the team, 6th and 7th. Daniel Ricciardo finished in the 8th spot, started 8th. Carlos Sainz, 9th, started 3rd, and gets the fastest lap. And 10th place, Danny Kvyat for Scuderia AlphaTauri.
Yep.
And then these drivers failed to finish in the points. Kimi Räikkönen, 11th, started 16th. Kevin Magnussen started 15th, finished 12th. 13th was Romain Grosjean, who started from the pits in last place with no qualifying time. Antonio Giovinazzi for Alfa Romeo finished 14th. 15th for AlphaTauri was Pierre Gasly, who did start in a solid 7th. A lot of people said that's going to be Gasly's chance to get a podium once again, but it wasn't meant to be. I think the rain would have favored him. We had a rain-filled weekend. Let's see down there. Williams, 16th, 17th. George Russell over Nicholas Latifi. Great qualifying run for George Russell. A solid 12th. That would be laughable in 2019. Esteban Ocon. So these drivers retired from the race. Esteban Ocon on lap 25. Overheating, started 5th. And of course, Charles Leclerc crash damage on lap 4, and Sebastian Vettel lap 1 with the rear wing damage.
Oh gosh!
If people don't remember why, and also about Ferrari, one thing they said after last weekend, like right before this weekend started, I'll tell you what they said. We got new upgrades, and they were still slow. I'm like, what upgrades did you get? They're still slow on this.
Were just.
I don't know what upgrades they got, but also
exactly, like, tell me what upgrades you have, man.
Yeah,
like,
because they're still slow in the streets.
Is it arrow-wise?
Yeah, like they're still slow in the streets and still slow in the corners, and every time
I think it's just the drivers.
And also every time they hit
chemistry between Leclerc and Vettel is not looking too good right now.
And like
not looking good at all.
But like, it's so embarrassing. But also, if people don't know, like some Twitter accounts like post like some
the Ferrari SF1000 hasn't fared well.
Literally, people post, "Oh, the lights are out," and then the next tweet that Ferrari put, "Oh, contact between two cars." Hashtag Seb5 is heading to the garage area. Hashtag Styrian GP, like. Of all tweets after the lights are out, both cars made contact. It's like, oh my gosh. When I saw it, I'm like, wow. I'm like, oh.
And people are pointing fingers at Mattia Binotto. Is it right?
I don't know who at Ferrari decided to put the car. I don't know which upgrades they have compared to last year, but the car is. If you notice how slow it is slow. I don't know who at Ferrari said, "Oh, we have new upgrades." It doesn't look like the car's upgraded that much.
Yeah,
they're still slow on the straights, which is not too good. They lost about 9/10 of a second from last year. When you lose about almost a second on the straight, that means your car is slow, which is not a good sign.
It certainly is really just turned into.
And people for some reason made this joke about Carlos Sainz in his mind. Him searching up how to get out of a contract, how to get fired from Ferrari, how to get hired.
I wouldn't put that burden on Carlos Sainz. I'd drive for Ferrari if I wanted to, or if I had the opportunity.
Even somebody said for a joke, how to get hired for Williams. Even asked, is Haas or Williams faster? Like, it's like all those things. Like,
at least they can finish a race.
Ferrari's just like, they're slow, and they get into each other. But
here's the thing: the chemistry between Sebastian Vettel right now, you can tell Vettel's state of mind is translated on the track. If he's not in a good state of mind, it will show on track. Yeah. And it's pretty clear, getting 1 point last week out of luck, and then of course not even lasting a lap this week. It's just horrendous.
But if they do want to be weird, what happens after at Hungary? What happens if Ferrari says we got upgrades? If they say that again and the car's still slow, I'm like, what upgrades did you get? If they're still slow and they say they got upgrades, I don't know what upgrades and where they put them. If they're
they need to be more
downgrades.
They need to be more transparent on what they say.
Yeah.
All right. With that said, the Ferrari politics will just stay on. Like the same. It's like sounds like a broken record at this point.
Every year.
I know. But as of the points championship, it looks like this Valtteri Bottas has 43 points over teammate Lewis Hamilton. With 37 so far. So, there's that. Lando Norris hangs on to third with 26 points, and then Charles Leclerc is fourth with 18 points. Sergio Perez fifth with 16 points. Max Verstappen is 1 point behind in sixth.
Yep.
Then 3 points behind Carlos Sainz Jr. Is it seventh? Alex Alban is in eighth with 12 points, and ninth and 10th are tied. Pierre Gasly and Lance Stroll, 6 points each. As for the drivers still yet to claim points, Nicholas Latifi, Kimi Räikkönen, Kevin Magnussen, Romain Grosjean, and George Russell. And the World Constructors Championship looks like this. Sorry to cut you off, Justin. But let me get through this. Mercedes walking off. They're almost half the points ahead of McLaren Renault, which they have 39 points so far. So, basically 41 points over McLaren. And then third with 27 points is Red Bull Racing Honda. Then Racing Point BWT Mercedes with the old Mercedes cars doing very well in fourth with 22 points so far. Ferrari is fifth with 19 points. Sixth is Renault with 8 points. Seventh is AlphaTauri Honda with 7 so far. Eighth place is Alfa Romeo with 2 points. And these two teams do not have points. Williams Mercedes and of course Haas Ferrari.
And people have been wondering, why are all the Ferrari engines slow? One thing that I feel like one thing that's probably an issue with their cars, there might be too much drag on the car. I think there's too much drag. Possibly is a thing. Like, there's the drag thing. Maybe there's too much of it on the Ferrari engines. Like, the Ferrari engines are slow. People are saying, like I don't know. And also, I've noticed every time, like, a Ferrari car, like a Ferrari engine car hit the brakes, they always locked up. All the Ferrari engine powered cars would break and they would lock up. Any corner they would just lock up for some reason, which was really interesting.
Yeah, and I feel like they just need to. The stability right now at Ferrari is, the IHS. The IHS has 4 ratings for crash tests, and and it's good, acceptable, marginal, poor. Of course, the response crash test to the government, the NHST, and basically a lot of the cars were getting poor ratings. And if I were to rate, why don't we just using the good, acceptable, marginal, poor? Why don't we just rate the teams in Formula One just so we can make it to Ferrari?
Oh, yeah.
Mercedes would get a good rating, obviously.
Yeah.
McLaren, Renault, I'd say they get an acceptable.
Yeah.
Red Bull Racing, Honda I'd say they get a good because they meet the criteria of speed. Racing Point, I don't know. I mean, I'd say they get a good. I mean, they're fast.
They say they get a good,
Yeah, Ferrari gets a poor.
Poor.
Obviously, like,
You've been waiting to say that.
I was waiting to say that.
But, like, some speed. Do you know what I saw, like, on the straights? Like, Mercedes could go, like, 200 on the straight. Do you know how fast Ferrari
will be turning in his grave?
I was just looking.
Ferrari will be turning in his grave right now.
Like Ferrari, do you know how fast I saw them going in a straight line? 189 miles per hour. That's about 11 miles per hour. Slower than Mercedes. Like 11 miles per hour slower on the straight.
Why?
Leclerc at this point.
Yeah.
They're like,
and Charles is a young fella. He could just drive for them in GT3s or something, and you get better luck over there.
Yeah, like Ferrari's cars are just slow. I mean, people say they're fast.
They're horrible, man.
Yeah, they're like it's kind of bad that McLaren. I saw the McLarens passing the Ferraris in practice so easily, which is kind of sad. The McLarens were faster. The Renaults could pass easily, like more easily. Like the Renaults passed the Ferraris like the Ferraris were turtles, but the Ferraris were going full speed, which is really a problem. Which is a problem when a Renault, which people say that's slow, but the Ferraris are like the Ferraris were just running their pace, and then the Ferraris just blast by them like they were going, like the Ferraris were going turtle speed, but they were not.
Yes, and let me just continue my rating. So Renault would I would give them a marginal. Last year.
Yeah.
AlphaTauri would probably get an acceptable. Alfa Romeo would get a marginal. Williams would get a poor, and Haas would get a poor.
Well, at least Williams improved on speed. That's the only thing.
Very slim.
Well,
McLaren is improved very much on speed.
Now, McLaren's the team I have high hopes for.
Yes.
Racing Point, somewhat. I think this is just a 2020 deal. And I left this question in the live chat for you guys to discuss because they're under another investigation.
Oh, geez.
By Renault. Obviously, the claim is that the cars used by Racing Point BW Team Mercedes, which uses the
basically the Mercedes SW10.
The Mercedes from last year. That is the RP20 car, which is really the car that Mercedes used last year. So basically, the car they use is the AMG F1 W10 EQ Power Plus. Essentially, with pink colors, that is what you have for Racing Point, and of course for Mexico's Sergio Checo Perez and Canada's Lance Stroll. But you know what? I would definitely tell you, I would not complain at all if you're Lance Stroll or Sergio Perez. You have the speed. Get on the track and show it. That's my take. Before someone puts a stop to it like Renault, because people have to protest with signs and get all angry.
Well,
I'm pretty sure at this point, all they do is can complain because they're slow.
But here's the thing. Renault was keeping up with the Racing Point cars near the end there. Daniel Ricciardo was right there. It just seemed like he was going to catch Sergio Perez and Lance Stroll if there was another lap.
Well, Perez, the reason he lost spots, he had wing damage from hitting Alban.
True.
But I thought Red Bull was bad for complaining about protesting the DOS system for Mercedes.
Red Bull protested the DOS system last week.
And Mercedes, and there's no difference of speed. And then Renault complains about Racing Points. Oh my gosh! Like at least that I could say, hey Renault, at least you're not Ferrari, you're not wrecking, and you're not slow, which is true.
That's just the deal. I have to tell you, that's all. That's all we're in for.
Yeah, like Renault is not slow. Like I've seen Renault on the straights, and they have good straightaway speed, decent straightaway speed, not fast as Mercedes. Mercedes will always have the straightaway speed, but some other yeah, but like the Ferrari, they don't have speed on the straight still. If they say they have more upgrades next week, I'm gonna say what upgrades? Because you said that last week, and it didn't look. It looks like you downgraded the car.
All right, so I think we'll definitely get more into Formula One because obviously, when we talk F1, the discussion is going to last another 20-something minutes. So yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and talk about some F2 racing that we had at Spielberg in Austria. So yeah, Austria 2 happened.
Yep.
If you're not familiar with Formula 2, there's a feature race where 10 drivers can score points, and a shorter sprint race, which is on the second day of the F1 race weekend, or the race day for F1 race weekend, which the top 8 score points in a little bit of a shorter race. So the feature race, Robert Schwartzman for Prema Racing scored the win, getting those 25 points, obviously valuable for the championship. It didn't look good in race 2. We'll get into that in a little bit. And second was Yuki Tsunoda for Carlin. Tsunoda got the fastest lap and the pole position points, so he gets another scoop of points to go on with that. Guido Zhu from the UNI Virtuosi team finished third after starting second. Mick Schumacher, the son of the legendary Michael, of course, finishing fourth for Prema Racing. Callum Ilott, who won, was it the feature race last week?
Callum Ilott. Yeah, he won the feature race last week.
Yeah, Ilott finished fifth. Christian Longard, sixth for car number 6. Finishing seventh is Marcus Armstrong. Dan Ticktum for the Doms team finished at 8th. Jack Eichen finished in 9th. And Sean Galale for Doms, another good finish for the Doms team, finishing in 10th, getting that last point. Now, here's the catch. Actually, we'll talk about this in race 2 because it applies to both races. Actually, I'll bring it up now. Ryan Nissany for Trident did get the fastest lap, but he didn't finish. It's unique in the Formula 2 rules. If you don't finish in a points-paying spot and get the fastest lap, it's not just, you don't get points at all. No one gets the fastest lap. No. The driver in the points-paying positions with the fastest lap gets the award instead.
Oh, okay.
That's why Yuki got the fastest lap award.
And and also people that don't know, that race was actually supposed to be 40 laps, but the race started behind the safety car because it was Saturday, the weather conditions, but they were waiting on pit road, they were waiting for updates and all that and then they had the medical car out there testing, going around. They said it was good. And also, if people don't know, there was a debut commentator for F2, Matt Gallagher. He was commentating his first F2 race, which that F2 race was interesting, that feature race, but the sprint race was more dry than...
It was more dry, and you had different racing conditions and a lot of surprising retirements. And we'll get into that later because Christian Longard finally proven to win. He got the fastest lap with the win over Dan Ticktum, who scored pole, so he gets points on that. Marcus Armstrong, third for Art Grand Prix. Guido Zhu, fourth. Consistent run for him. And Callum Ilott in fifth. Jack Eichen in 6th, Sean Galale 7th, and 8th, Nikita Mazepin finished in 8th from Russia in the high-tech Grand Prix machine. Unlike the feature race, the top 8 get points in the sprint race, and just like the feature race, Roy Nissany got the fastest lap, but he didn't get the points paying spots, so that was Christian Lundgaard. Now, don't count out Roy Nissany though. He's fast.
Yeah, like people are like Roy Nissany fast lap, but he's not in the points. But also,
okay, it's not his father. Everyone keeps referring to his father. Roy Nissany's not a bad driver though. I mean, his father, Shanach Nissany, was the first Israeli test driver in Formula One in Jordan equipment for Jordan Grand Prix, but he had his lap time was like bizarrely slow, and I don't know why people are like pointing fingers at Roy for this. I mean, it's like Mahavir Raghunathan having a son, and like and it's not doing much better than we talk about Mahavir Raghunathan in 2019 a lot, I think.
Well, I remember the only thing that was kind of funny when he got a pit lane start at Abu Dhabi. The funniest thing, he had the fastest lap for a while, but then I don't know how he ends up DNF by just locking up in the corner. I don't know how you DNF by locking up, and he had trouble getting out of his own car, which is like, wow, like, yeah, last year, at least MP has two better drivers. Well, Jordan King was good. Raghunathan's the one that was slower than an F. He was slower than an F. 2019. Yeah, he was slower than an F3 car at Barcelona, which is embarrassing.
Yeah, he was slower than the fastest F3 car that weekend.
It's like, how'd you manage to do that?
But like, it's what it is. But let's not put that kind of burden on Roy Nissany. He's not a bad driver. He's under a Williams contract.
He's a test driver for Williams. Like he's not that slow. He's not
I
really.
want the best for him. It would be awesome to see a driver from Israel make it to Formula One.
Yeah.
With that said, so far we've not really seen that much success out of drivers from Russia in Formula One racing. But Robert Schwartzman could change that. He's in the points lead right now, 48 points in this Formula 2 championship over Christian Lundgaard. Now, Callum Ilott dropped down to third in the points. Dan Ticktum climbed really far. He had a terrible first weekend, but he's up to fourth now. Marcus Armstrong is fifth. I don't want to call Ticktum weekend terrible the first weekend, but it just didn't seem to we didn't see the flashiness that we've seen from Dan Ticktum in the past.
Yeah.
Despite some of the controversies that we've seen.
Yeah.
Before. And don't be surprised if he does a few test sessions for Williams as well.
Yeah.
Marcus Armstrong, fifth. Now I wanted to mention we did see Jack Eichen in the Williams.
Yeah.
Test session.
Yeah, he was in practice one where he got 17th.
And Robert Kubica, the veteran, was in the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah.
Let me go down. See, Guanyu Zhou is sixth. Yuki Tsunoda is seventh. Felipe Drugovich, who won the sprint race last week, is eighth. Louis Delatraz had just a abysmal week, finishing no points at all, but he's still ninth. Excuse me. Mick Schumacher, up and down the scale, still hanging on there, 10th with 14 points so far. So far, the drivers without any points. Johan Jaravala, Luca Kyoto, which is very surprising. Pedro Piquet, who's the younger half-brother of Nelson Piquet Jr. Great Thermi, Samia, Marino Sato, no relation to former F1 driver Takuma Sato, and Artem Markelov, who's just flirting with last place.
Yeah.
But that said, the team championship also looks like this. Art Grand Prix, 7 points over Untitled Racing. Very tight battle. Both teams have great drivers up the ranks. Prema Grand Prix, third. Unfortunately, the double retirements in the sprint race set them back. 62 points so far. Doms is fourth, 39 points. MP Motorsport is fifth with 27 points. Carlin is 6th with 24. Charo's Racing System is 7th with 18 points. They had double no points finishes the whole weekend. BWG HWA Race Lab is 8th with 8 points. 9th place with 7 points is Campos Racing team from Spain. High Tech Grand Prix is up and down. They've only managed 1 point so far in 10th. And Trident is 11th with 1 point as well. Really in the hands of Roy Nissany there. High Tech Grand Prix still trying to find that baseline. It's not really in their favor. I mean, Luca Kyoto will perform sooner or later. Just wasn't meant to be.
Well, I'm just looking here, I'm just looking through.
I mean, he finished 3rd last year. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, oh my gosh. It's just so funny to me. I just looking that, I guess last year, MP Motorsports had a total of 96 points. People said, "Oh, Raghunathan gained the most points." he only had 1 point, and the rest was all Jordan King getting the points. Like, people said Raghunathan was the best driver. I'm like, oh yeah, cutting the corner out.
Just don't listen to them.
Yeah, like,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to sports cars. By the way, let's talk about the VLN races that are now the NLS. I keep calling VLN because a lot of people still, for some reason, don't know what the NLS is. It's basically what the VLN used to be. It's the same thing. So, Hop Racing Team swept both events. This team obviously bought the equipment from the GT3 program that Black Falcon Mercedes had as they scaled back due to the pandemic. Now, Hop Racing Team, number 16, they have won the doubleheader for race 2, but race 3 was the Ferrari number 26. But hours later, they were disqualified for failing tech, giving the win to the number 16 Mercedes.
Oh my gosh.
Which was kind of frustrating because that was a really decent battle between the two heading into the final lap of the race. And you hate to see a race, the race results be official after the race, in tech. With that said, they're not going to have another race until round 4, which is on August 1st. So round 4 of 8, August 1st, and then August 29th, round 5, which is the only 6-hour race of the season. And then 6, 7, and 8, October 24th, November 7th, and November 21st. All 4-hour races to the end. Now let's get into the lead sports car race of the weekend, which was the 12 hours of Monza for the 24H series, and that was
12 hours of hail.
12, more like the 2 hours of hail.
I did not expect that weather to come in randomly. Like, that weather delay, I'm like, wow. It was sunny, and then it got worse. I mean, really worse.
Oh, it was horrendous.
And there's a tree that fell on the track. Like, yeah, the weather conditions were not the best, so people said, oh, they should have still raced. Yeah, race when a tree falls on the track. That's totally safe.
But at least the weather cleared, and somehow they did. And I sent you the results. So you can look at. We'll go class by class here, as the race. Basically, it looked like this. There was a 2-part race, mind you. 2-part race, which means that. Which means so part 1 was 4 hours on Friday. Part 2 was on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I sent you the wrong one. Here's the right results.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a PDF, so you gotta get the right stuff. Okay, so Porsche prevailed in this race. We'll start with the GT3 class, obviously the highest finishing class. It was the number 92 Herbert Motorsport Porsche winning over the number 93 Herbert Motorsport Porsche and the 91 Porsche from Herbert Motorsport. They had a true team victory. Only 2 cars finished on the lead lap, 28 seconds apart. Third place finished 5 laps down after nearly stalling and not even making it to the end.
Wow.
Fourth place was the number 50 MP Racing Mercedes. Fifth place was the number 34 Car Collection Motorsport Audi. And these 2 drivers did not finish the race. Sixth place was the number 22 Wolf Spiegel Team Monschau Ferrari 488 GT3. And fifth place, or actually sixth place and seventh place, finishing last and never making it to part 2 of the race. This car was leading in the first 16 laps before it shut off.
Oh.
Number 9, Equipe Fischer Renault. Yes, a French team. Number 9, they were on point to pull off an upset, possibly, and have a shot to win. They had fast power. I guess the BOP favored them for sure, and they walked away. And I tell you what, the Renault Rs01 is a very underrated GT3 race car that has not seen a lot of success compared to its rivals out there. Of course, Porsches, BMWs, and Audis.
A Ford Coupe would have worked. No, that would not work. A Ford Coupe, jeez.
But like the RS01 is a very interesting design for Renault Sport, and I hope to see them come back. As for the other classes, the GTX class only had 3 classes, and what's very interesting, we'll get into the third place car. Unfortunately, they had problems in part 2 of the race, which included the final 8 hours and that horrifying hailstorm.
Oh, yeah.
Really turned into a hurricane. I don't know how we got the track back at the end, but so yeah, ARC Bratislava won in the number 707 Lamborghini Huracan Super Trofeo with the Konopkas leading the way. So talk about a family win on that part. The number 703 JR Motorsport BMW, no relation to Junior Motorsports. They finished 20 laps behind the 707 car. And third place was actually the first overall at the end of part 1 of race 1 was the KTM GTX concept. The Rider Engineering number 746 was first place overall at the end of race 1. And I found that very interesting, that a car not in the top class was leading overall. All right, in the next class, the 991 Cup, which is a single spec cup for the Porsche 991 Cup cars, is the number 978 Speed Lover Porsche over the 979 Speed Lover Porsche, which retired from the race. The only 2 cars in that class. GT4 class only had 1 car, the number 450 MDM Motorsport BMW GT4. As for touring cars, TCR cars had 7 overall, 6 completed the race. The number 101 Red Camel Jordan.NL Sea Cupra with the Brukers brothers. Unstoppable. They've been very strong this year, winning in that category in the 101 car over the Auto Drama Motorsport, Wolf Power Racing, Volkswagen Golf, AG, GTI, TCR. Now they were 1 lap behind.
Okay.
Third place was the Brutal Fish by KCMG Honda Civic. Now KCMG, obviously they're a Honda factory team or touring cars, and they were set back due to the pandemic. So good to see them on the racetrack again. Fourth place was the Bas Koten Racing number 175 Sea Cupra TCR over the number, and fifth place was the number 131 Top Car Sport Cupra Sixth place was the number 1 Autorama Motorsport by Wolf Power Racing Volkswagen Golf GTI. And the one car that did not finish in that class, 7th overall out of the race, not classified, was number 188 AC Motorsport, Stefan Perrin Audi RS3. As for the last class, the TCX category had 3 cars, and they finished laps apart as well. Well, that's just a product of racing when, with the pandemic and the inability of many teams to approach the entry list.
And also, people don't understand. Not every race is going to have side-by-side finishes. Some races are not like that, and people say, oh, that's boring. I want side-by-side, 5-wide finishes. I'm like, it's not NASCAR here. This is
endurance racing.
Yeah, it's not NASCAR. People confuse this with NASCAR. There is kind of a problem. There's a difference for people to know.
One thing I love about endurance racing is all natural. Let me just get to this last class here. Was the TCX class. Special touring cars and silhouette cars. Only 3 entered in this one. The number 211 Autorama Motorsport Seat Leon Cup Racer V1 DSG with the Stancos. All of them the same family, driving that number 211 for the class victory. 6 laps ahead of second place, the number 339 David Cox WEC Motorsport BMW with the Cox brothers and Haynes. So that sounds like a family-owned team to me as well. And then third place is the number 226 Nordschleife Racing, Daniel Waschinski in the Ligier number 226. Now I'm surprised. Why is the Nordschleife Racing team not at the Nürburgring? I don't know. Maybe that's a sign of good things to come for other teams. If they could travel around, and not race at home, then maybe more teams will be showing up to the next race. And that next race, and this is maybe some good news because we won't be seeing another 24H Series race in a while. September 4th through 6th at Barcelona for the 24 Hours of Barcelona. That race in the past has always been entertaining. So
September is a while. But it's about a little bit less than 2 months, a month and many weeks. Yeah, we're only July still. People don't remember the day because people don't remember days because of the pandemic. They forget what day we are.
Every 2 days feels like a day.
Yeah, but we are July 13th. For people to know, it's Monday as always because we always do the podcast. Mostly it's on Mondays, just to let people know.
Yeah, I really hope we don't have to do another Tuesday podcast anytime soon. Let's see what else. But the thing with sports car racing is if you're unfamiliar with sports car racing, you're not exclusively driving for one series. Most of the time for a team, they're venturing around as many opportunities as they get. And for them, a crown jewel is not really a series championship. While it's a good way to show that you are proven to be a success in the category, in that discipline of racing, the real crown jewels for them is the actual race victories. And like Daytona, Sebring, Le Mans. So some of these teams might be venturing around depending on how financially stable they are. And as for the drivers, I obviously will wish them best. As for others, we did have an ARCA race at Kentucky around 6 of 15. It was interesting as we had 4 different leaders. Ty Gibbs won after leading 59 laps over Brett Holmes, who led 17 laps. Brett Holmes still aching for that first win. He's been close. Michael Self gets a big point stay with a 3rd place finish, leading 23 laps. 4th place, Sam Mayer. And 5th place was Drew Dollar, who was able to capitalize on that top 5 finish, but not without some trouble. We're going to get into that situation with Haley and Drew Dollar that really set Haley Diggin back in points. Let's go through the points now because it looks like this. Michael Self has 248 points right now. So
248, 298. 298.
Because Drew Dollar, Brett Holmes, and Haley Deegan are like nearly tied for 4th in standings, and Moffitt's like way back in 5th.
Yeah, it's close.
But Haley Deegan was 9 points behind the leader at one point in the race. And with that contact, she now has some
24.
pickup.
Yeah, she's 24 behind Michael Sullivan. And people think it's all Drew Dollar did that on purpose, and Drew Dollar's already on the outside. Haley did not clear.
That was just a racing deal.
But people say Haley's never done that. I'm like, Chuck Hires Daytona. That's the same thing. Chuck Hires got dumped like that at Daytona.
Yeah. Being Haley Deegan doesn't make you immune from having trouble.
But her fan base is annoying.
Her fan base.
My god.
I can't use some of the choice words that I have to say to describe them, but they are.
I was looking.
They bow down and take no accountability. I know I've seen Dale Jr. fans are like this because they'll act like Dale Jr. is this prince who could do no wrong. He never wrecked anyone out before. Anyone that touches him, go to hell. And
you wanna know what? People say, Haley didn't. People say it's okay for Haley to wreck Chuck Hires, but it's not okay for Drew Dollar to do the same thing. And guess what somebody said about it? Somebody said, "I'm going to go nuke Drew Dollar's car." I'm like, you're a freaking idiot. Jeez, it's one incident.
And you know what? So what? It's not the end of the world.
And also,
Haley Deegan fan, because that's the first time Haley Deegan finished outside the top 10 this season.
But do you know what else was interesting? Haley said that Drew has no experience. Hello, Drew ran last year. He ran most of the races last year, so he has experience. He has more starts.
Talladega was deemed to be somewhat lucky.
But other than that, but other than that,
2 races last year, only 2 top 10s. I mean, I guess. He only ran. He ran some races in the East Series last year.
Yeah,
he's not a bad driver. Haley Deegan's not a bad driver. They should just go on with it. I mean, they're supposed to be the big 3 this year. The big 3 is interrupted by Brett Holmes for now. Holmes has a little bit less of equipment.
Yeah,
you gotta feel for this guy, man. He's come so close to winning a race.
Brett Holmes. People think, he's running
top 5s. 3 of them this year, and still yet to get that win.
People think Brett Holmes is running for a big team. It's his family-owned team, and he's Brett Holmes. He gets these good finishes. And it's not the best powerhouse equipment. It's not the TRD engines or the GMS engines. No, it's just a normal engine. He's racing for his family team.
Best finish, by the way. He's finished 3rd. 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Oh my god! Brett Holmes, he's proving what he got right now. He has that equipment, and he's showing what he has. And he's not just running last place. No, he's not running last place just randomly last place. No, he's contending.
Yeah,
for victories.
Driving. So they'll be back this weekend at Iowa for round 7 of 15. We'll talk about Iowa when we talk about IndyCars. So actually, since we probably won't preview ARCO, who do you think is going to win in Iowa?
I think my pick's easy.
Am I going to go with Michael Self again?
Well,
every time I say Michael Self's going to win a race, he doesn't win.
Well, my pick of this driver kind of he has.
I know who's going to be in the race, so that's another concern.
Well, I know one driver that's already in the race that he knows how to win. He has 9 victories and 23 starts.
Smith.
Yeah, he won already both CO Chief Challenge races, and Iowa's another one. So he won there last year.
Chad Moffitt, it just doesn't seem like he can finish a race.
Yeah, he's not having luck.
It's not like Haley Deegan, her teammate Chad Moffitt, can start a race, but he just does not know how to finish a race. While Haley Deegan doesn't really start too good, but can finish. I mean, and I think if Taylor Gray's racing, don't take your eyes off him. I heard that Taylor's going to be racing the CO Chief Challenge races. He's eligible.
Yeah, which Taylor last time he ran at IRP, that saves. I'm like, oh my gosh, I thought he was going to wreck, but he ends up saving it. I'm like, holy.
Not without giving the bird afterwards. I guess that's one way to tell your competitors that they're number one.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get into the races that we have upcoming for this weekend. And boy, there are lots of them. We're basically in a whole new discussion now. The Cup Series, the Texas 500 round 18, the Xfinity Series race 16 for the Texas. They'll have a 300-mile race, and the Truck Series, a 350-kilometer event at Texas Motor Speedway for their round number 8. So all 3 series this weekend for NASCAR. We'll get into the All-Star race later on. I know that we're going to leave that to the very end here.
Yep.
Because they have special rules and all that. IndyCar for the Iowa 250 events, rounds 5 and 6. Doubleheader, just like last week. F1 Hungarian Grand Prix for round 3, F2 for round 3 at Hungary. Sports cars, we got the first European Le Mans Series race of the season, round 1 to 5, the 4 hours of La Castellet in Circuit Paul Richard in France. And for North America side, we have Imsa WeatherTech Sports Car Championship racing for the Sebring Grand Prix presented by Cadillac for round 3 of 11. Supercars return for Sydney Super Sprint 2 for week 4, 11, rounds 10, 11, and 12 of 25. It's not Winton. I had to clarify. And, of course, NASCAR is the All-Star race. But let's start off with Texas. For round 18 of the 36 race tour. Last year, winners, Denny Hamlin, Kevin Harvick. So this is their 4th 500-mile race of the season. We've had Daytona, Atlanta, Talladega, and now this. First race was won by Jeff Burton back in 1997. As for the record holder in wins, Jimmy Johnson was 7. He's the king of Texas. I don't know if anyone forgets. He's also the king of tracks like Dover and Fontana, a bunch of other tracks, Atlanta. Carl Edwards has 4 wins. Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick share 3 wins apiece. Greg Biffle, Jeff Burton, Matt Kenseth, and Tony Stewart have 2 wins as well. In the spring race of Texas, it has spring race because it was supposed to be spring race. Roush holds the number for most victories by a team. Roush Family Racing with 7 over Joe Gibbs Racing with 5. Hendrick Motorsports with 4. Robert Yates Racing, Team Penske with 2 wins apiece. For the spring race, the most wins by a manufacturer. Ford with 10, Chevy with 6, Toyota with 5, and Dodge with 2. So those stats are there, and what we've had presented last night in Kentucky. There's that crazy finish. What is there for these drivers for 500 miles on a Sunday humid afternoon?
I'm just gonna try. Okay, this driver, he knows how to win races, a lot of races recently. This driver, he's won at Texas before. He drives for Stewart-Haas Racing. Kevin Harvick will win his 4th race at Texas.
Kevin Harvick might sound like a good pick, but Eric Almirola is going to break through and win at Texas. I just see that happening.
Yeah, that could happen. He's good at the mile and a half.
He's beating a lot of laps in the last few races.
Yeah.
That's why I'm behind that pick. Now, as for Xfinity Series, let's just go down the list because I know Danny stepped out. He's been busy. We apologize. Danny, if you're here, come back. Join us. Don't let life get the better of you. It did get the better of me. I did finally finish with my associate's degree. Just, I'm not a big show off, but I'm proud of that. If you didn't know, you know now. NASCAR Xfinity Series, Texas 300 for round 16. Last year, its winners were Kyle Busch and Christopher Bell. Mark Martin won the first race back in 1997, and Kyle Busch holds the win record for 9 victories at this track over Kevin Harvick, Eric Jones, Mark Martin. So Kevin Harvick with 5, Eric Jones and Mark Martin with 3, Carl Edwards, Brad Keselowski, and Matt Kenseth with 2 wins. Now for the spring race in Texas, Joe Gibbs Racing leads the number with 8 victories. Roush Racing with 6 wins, and Team Penske with 2. As for manufacturers in the spring race in Texas, I know it's not the spring anymore. I'm just calling it the spring because it was supposed to be in the spring.
Yeah.
Toyota with 8, as well as Ford. So Toyota and Ford share 8 wins apiece. Chevy with 5 and Dodge with 2. So who's going to prevail now?
Okay. My pick, this driver has still no wins this season. He's really kind of inconsistent some races. This driver, his teammate has already 2 wins. This driver drives car number 7. Justin Allgaier will win at Texas.
And who do you have?
Yeah.
Who's your pick? I completely missed it.
Justin Allgaier in the 7 car.
Oh, Justin Allgaier. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with this driver. You can call me crazy, but Riley Herbst is going to get the win at Texas. Shake your head. I don't care. It's
better than saying Kyle Wetterman because I don't think a Mike Harmon car is going to have speed to win.
All right. As for the Truck Series and the Texas 300, round 8, 21, Kyle Busch and Greg Biffle won the races last year, both for KBM, Kyle Busch Motorsports. I'd be a fool not to pick Kyle Busch in the Xfinity race because he's on the entry list. Imagine him finishing second to Coy Gibbs. That would be something interesting.
To Coy Gibbs?
I was thinking Ty Gibbs, and I didn't mean Ty Gibbs. I meant Riley Herbst.
I was going to say Coy Gibbs. I'm like Coy Gibbs is the owner.
The entry list that said Coy Gibbs.
Coy Gibbs is the owner of the 54 and the 18 cars.
In a few races back in 2003 that Kyle Busch ran in the Busch Series, I think he finished ahead of Coy Gibbs in all of them.
Oh. Well, I was about to say Coy Gibbs is not racing.
Why? You caught me distracted. And catching me distraction is actually probably the best thing because he saved me from myself. I'm just kidding. I shouldn't get there, but imagine Kyle was finishing second behind Riley Herbst.
Oh my gosh.
That's what I'm trying to say here. All right, as for the Truck Series race, Kyle Busch and Greg Biffle won the races last year, both for KBM. First race was back in 1997 when the track opened, won by Kenny Irwin Jr. Todd Bodine leads the record for number of wins over Johnny Sauter, who's an active driver. Then Brendan Gaughan and Kyle Busch, they have 4 wins apiece. Brendan Gaughan won 4 straight. Ron Hornaday Jr. with 3. Greg Biffle with 2 victories, as well as Dennis Setzer, Matt Crafton, and Jack Sprague. As for teams in the spring race, Kyle Busch Motorsports leads that with 4 wins over Germain Racing, GMS Racing. They both have 3 wins. Orleans Racing has 2 victories, as well as Kevin Harvick Incorporated and Richard Childress Racing. Now, if you want to combine the 2 KHI and RCR together, because they essentially are like the same team and the same equipment, then they would have 4 wins. As for manufacturers in the spring, Chevy leads with 10 victories over Toyota with 9 and Dodge with 2. Who's going to win this run? The veterans, Kyle Busch, Johnny Sauter, Matt Crafton, or someone new like Tanner Gray, Tyler Ankrum, Christian Eckes. So you have to get that first win.
Okay. My pick, this driver, he's winless this season so far. He knows how to win championships. His last championship came a couple of years ago. This driver drives for Thor Sport Racing. Johnny Sauter wins at Texas.
Yes, Johnny Sauter might win at Texas, but I'm going to go with the driver who is essentially unstoppable in the Truck Series. That's Kyle Busch. You just no.
I thought you were going to say somebody else. I'm like, what? And we know Jennifer Joe.
Fans Leach is going to win the race.
Yeah, he's the only. No, he's not the only Cup
Brendan
guy.
Poole and Timmy Hill.
Yeah, Timmy Hill's not going to win. Brendan Poole can get second.
Hey, this could be a good weekend for a driver like Stuart Friesen, who shown a lot of speed last year at this track. He's good on the Texas ovals. Excuse me, I know I have long eyelashes. But what I'm trying to say is Stuart Friesen really far back, but he's climbed up a little bit in points.
Yeah, because before he was like 20th in standings before, which was not Stuart Friesen like, because we usually don't see him in 20th in the points usually.
But I think there's a lot more left in Stuart Friesen than what we've seen this year.
Yeah.
With that said, let's move on to IndyCar for the Iowa IndyCar 250s for rounds 5 and 6 of 14. Now, here's some stats. Last year, Joseph Newgarden won the race. Dario Franchitti won the first event back in 2007 en route to his first of 3 championships. Let's see. I think it was 4 championships. What the hell? Dario?
Yes, 4.
Yeah, that's 4. I forgot about 2010. But yeah, I corrected myself and you verified it. Ryan Hunter-Reay has the most wins here with 3 over Joseph Newgarden and James Hinchcliffe, who have 2 wins apiece. As for team victories, if you're not driving for Andretti Motorsports, then you have a very slim chance of winning, because they have 7 victories at this track. Over Chip Ganassi Racing and Team Penske, they both have 2 wins apiece at Iowa. So the stats provided by, of course, myself, who will end up in victory lane for race 1.
Okay, my pick for race 1, this driver, he drives for Team Penske. He has no wins this season. He has 1 championship a couple of years ago. Simon Pagenaud will win race number 1 at Iowa.
Who's going to win?
Simon Pagenaud will win. Yeah, here's my race 1 pick. Yeah.
Here's a prediction I'm going to have. In the defense for his going for his 3rd championship now, defending his 2019 title, he is currently 5th in the championship with 106 points. Winning this race, which he's done twice for 2 different teams, will propel him back into this hunt. Joseph Newgarden will win race 1. Now, what about race 2?
Joseph Newgarden will win race 2. I have him winning race 2.
Well, Joseph Newgarden might be good in race 1, but does that mean you just sweep race 2 like Scott McLaughlin does in supercars? Probably not. That adds to my claim that anybody can win a race. You just have to put yourself out there.
Yeah.
Howdy, Austin. Howdy.
Hey, again, very late. Again, I was at work. That's why I'm on a part-time basis. We're all talking about IndyCar right now for Iowa.
Yes, I was just about to get my race 2 prediction, which is going to be. You're going to be surprised when I say this, because he's not as good in ovals as he is on the road courses. A very technical driver, Colton Herta, will win race 2. Okay.
Wow.
That's good. That's fine.
Austin, you want to backtrack and give your NASCAR predictions, or you want to give your IndyCar picks first? Because we already did.
Yeah, we're talking about IndyCar right now. We'll just keep talking about it. I mean, you say Joseph Newgarden may win race 1. I'm gonna agree with that, and I think he's gonna sweep it.
Bold. All right, so yeah, we had our NASCAR predictions for Texas. I have Eric Almirola winning the Cup race on Sunday. As for the Xfinity race, I have Riley Herbst, and the Truck Series I have Kyle Busch. What do you have?
Well, I just need to. I'm trying to remind myself of the entry list Justin posted on the on the group, and I'm trying to remember myself. Did you guys pick the All-Star race winners yet?
We're leaving that to last.
Oh, of course you are. Well, it's probably going to be the obvious trucks. I see Austin Hill winning. Xfinity. Most of the people don't like him. Austin Cindric. Yeah, I said it. And Cup, he got screwed over this recently, but he's going to rebound with another Texas win, Jimmy Johnson.
Wow. All right. So I think that's good. Now let's move on to Formula One racing for the Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring, which is nearby Budapest, for race number 3 of the World Championship. The first race was held in 1986, won by Nelson Piquet. Last year was Lewis Hamilton getting the win. Lewis Hamilton has the most victories at this track with 7 wins total at the Hungarian Grand Prix, including his rookie year back in 2009 and 2 more for McLaren in 2009, 2012, as well as 2013, his first year switching to Mercedes, 2016, 2018, and 2019. Michael Schumacher has 4 wins. Ayrton Senna with 3. Damon Hill, Nelson Piquet, Jacques Villeneuve, Mika Hakkinen, Jenson Button, and Sebastian Vettel all have 2 wins apiece at this track. As for constructors, McLaren leads the list with 11 wins over Williams and Ferrari, which they're tied for 7. Mercedes with 4, and Red Bull with 2. So all active constructors on that list. And as for engine manufacturers, Mercedes with 12, Renault with 8, Ferrari with 7, and Honda with 6. I know between 99 and 05 it says that Ilmore produced the engines which were funded by Mercedes. But let's go ahead and make our predictions for this event. Now, going into the race, Lewis Hamilton. Hamilton, of course, is 4 points behind. Actually, 6 points behind Valtteri Bottas for the lead. Who's going to come out of this with the points lead? Who's going to win this thing?
Okay, this is quite easy. My pick, he has many victories. He's almost the number 1 F1 driver with the records. Yeah, Lewis Hamilton's gonna win at the Hungaroring.
Okay, well, I'm still gonna give it because I've been watching every race so far, and I've honestly been enjoying it. But this one's probably not much for shocker, but maybe Kimi Räikkönen, if I pronounce his name correctly.
Kimi Räikkönen?
Why are you both surprised when I say that?
I don't know.
You think he's all washed up and to say, okay, time to retire?
Sometimes you need the car to win a race.
Well, Joseph, this is Ferrari. Look. That's Ferrari.
He's back.
I literally just found that something bad about Ferrari. The horse is leaving.
The prancing horse doesn't want anymore.
Yeah, I don't want to deal with those prancing horses anymore.
No, the horse stopped.
Especially when it comes to that one thing that we all hate. Austin, say it with me. 1, 2, 3. Team orders.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I don't care how long the last time he won. I think he's got a weird chance.
You think Kimi Räikkönen has a serious chance?
He's got a weird chance to do it. I don't care. I don't care.
He has points this year.
Well, he has more of a chance than Ferrari.
Okay.
He has more of a Ferrari might DNF again.
I've seen strange things. Heck, the last Sunday race, not this Sunday, the last Saturday was an absolute crazy fest.
Yeah, true.
I don't care whatever you think. Kimi Räikkönen, move on. Next.
My pick is okay. They're under protest right now, and you know what? Who cares if you're under scrutiny? You got a fast car. You're a driver who has another open door to get that first win and bring the whole country of Mexico to their feet. And the and pretty much anyone who's a fan of Lance Stroll, but not the driver we're talking about. We're talking about this guy in the 2019 Mercedes with the pink car, Racing Point BMW Mercedes. You know who it is. Sergio Perez is going to win the race, not Lance Stroll. Sergio
Perez. What? I don't even know what's his best finish there. I don't even know. I gotta go figure this out.
Stay off the damn weed.
Weed.
Let me go check.
Don't take their advice.
Please come back, Armani. Thank you.
Yeah, Armani, man. Wherever you are.
Yeah,
Armani?
You used to do that.
Yeah, he's here. He comes on Sundays, but no longer on Mondays.
I think he's working. I saw he was doing an 11-hour shift today.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
I'm just looking.
That's long.
But,
at least he's getting money.
What's next on the list?
Oh, yeah, Danny, what did you pick for the race? Actually, I'm gonna find Sergio Perez's results on Hungarian. I'm gonna pull them up right now. He's made 9.
Guys,
starts.
hold on. What were you guys saying?
Justin, I might regret picking Sergio Perez because he only has 2-point finishes at the circuit.
That totally helps.
But I'm sticking to it.
What happens if he ends up hitting a Red Bull car again? Like yesterday. And damages. Well, what happens if Ferrari DNFs again early in the race and they embarrass their fans again?
I wouldn't be surprised at all if that happened.
Or it would be funny if Ferrari says, we got new upgrades again and the car is worse. I don't think they got up for.
Let's hear your picks for the Hungarian Grand Prix.
Lewis Hamilton.
All right. Do you have any picks for NASCAR or IndyCar? I know we've been long gone from there. Let's just backtrack to IndyCar. Who's going to win race 1 and race 2?
Sorry.
While Danny's making his long decisions, like ordering a milkshake from Sonic.
Excuse me?
Oh, there you are.
Oh, jeez.
What was that?
I'm in trouble.
What was the question?
I was saying your IndyCar predictions.
Oh, I'm going to go with Dixon for both races.
Both races.
No, not for both races. One race, I'm going to go with Andretti because...
Marco Andretti?
Yes, because he has won at Iowa before.
Yeah, okay. I know he's won there.
But it's been a while. And race 2, I am going to go with... Yeah, I'm going to go with Dixon for race 2.
All right, so Dixon's going to hit 50.
Yes.
And then become 2 wins from reaching Andretti in second of all time in the wins list at 52. That would be cool. I think that can happen this year at this rate. He's damn fast. But, your NASCAR picks. Let's hear your cup prediction, your Xfinity and Truck Series. Let's hear that now. And then we gotta jump into some sports cars and supercars, and then we'll get into the All-Star race later.
Hey Joseph, look at that!
Look at what?
You came in like a torpedo. That was. Remember Vettel said that about at China in 2016 at Kvyat.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they put the shoulder.
That's why they call him torpedo.
Yeah, I remember that. And then at Russia, that was really not a good thing.
All right, Dan.
Oh, boy. What was
Where's your Cup Series pick? Who's your Xfinity Truck Series pick? We're waiting.
Oh. You mean for the All-Star?
No, Texas.
No.
Texas.
Not yet.
Oh, Texas. Okay. I'm gonna go with Sauter for trucks, Allgaier for Xfinity, and Johnson for Cup.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Really wanna help.
All right, I think we got everything in now. Let's see what else we have here. Yeah, sports cars. Let's talk about some. Let's start off with the ELMS. The first race of the season is at the Circuit Paul Richard for the 4 hours of Le Castellet. I think I said it right. Le Castellet.
Yeah.
So the first race was back in 1970, won by Brian Redmond for Chevron Cars Ltd, which was with a Ford engine, which was called the Trophy International Paul Richard. So the most wins, obviously, Jean-Pierre Jarier with 2, and Lola has the most wins with 3. As for last year was won by Bentley Team M Sport under a different sanction. But Justin, I'll send you the link.
No, I got the link. I just sent it.
Yeah,
That's the answer.
Oh, thanks.
I got the actual website, the ELMS website.
Yeah, we'll get ELMS now, and then Imsa next. But for the first race of the year in the LMP2 class, I know, like, many teams had to pull out and not make it, but entry list. Participants. Cool.
Yeah, that's where they are.
So yeah, I'm looking right here. Category LMP2, blue, LMP3. Okay, yeah. LMP2. I'm gonna go with Dragon Speed, number 21, Henrik Hedman, Ben Hanley, and Jake Allen. That's his name, I think.
Okay, my pick for LMP2. My pick is
James Allen. My bad. Yeah.
My pick is the number 26 G Drive Racing with Roman Rusinov, Job Van Eert, and Norman Nato in the number 26 G Drive Racing.
Yes, they're always fast. All right, and this next, so the LMP3 class doesn't have too many cars, but a lot of them come from the Nielsen Racing camp. My pick to win LMP3 will be the number 7 Nielsen Racing team.
Okay. What's my pick? I'm just gonna check. Okay. My pick for the LMP3 will be the number 6 360 Racing car.
All right, and as for the GTE class, which many of these cars come from the GTE AM class that you see at Le Mans, I'm going to go with the – geez, this is a tough one. But there's a lot of good picks out there. A lot of drivers are not in this race as well because have Imsa this weekend as well.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with the number 55 Spirit of Race Ferrari.
The same for me. I'm going to go with this 55 Ferrari.
How about you, Justin? Justin, you are mute. Hello? Your mic's not connected.
You wake up, Jeff. I mean, Justin.
Okay. That's a Wiggles reference, man. I can't believe you had a Wiggles reference.
You know, man. I had to.
Justin, we still don't hear you. Talk. Come on, talk. Come on.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Like my computer,
Yes.
I don't know.
Yes.
I think my computer is drunk. I think it just decided to disconnect my headphones for no reason. I'm like, computer, my headphones are not dead. It takes 6 hours for these to die, and I didn't use them for 6 hours, so I don't know. I think my computer wants everything.
Okay, while you test the sobriety of your computer, let's hear your pick for the GTE class.
Okay, my pick is the number. My pick is the number 56. Team Project 1.
I had a feeling you were going to say that because they're pretty strong. Now that leads me to the next race that we have, which is the Imsa WeatherTech Sports Car Championship, round 3 of 11. The Sebring Cadillac Grand Prix in Sebring, Florida, which is a sprint race. The 12 hours will happen later this year on my birthday, November 14th. But
their season finale.
Oh, come on. What the heck is going on? Okay, IMSA. This IMSA website's not working right now.
Try Daily Sports Car.
I'll try.
I'm going to try to pull up the entry list. 29 cars on the entry list. This was actually NBC that posted this. So I'm going to give you guys the link. 29 cars overall. It's a slight improvement compared to what we see in other sports car races, which we usually see 20 cars overall across the globe. Well, there goes Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah, my computer is really against me today. It literally wants me to.
My computer is really testing me today.
Mine's just disconnecting my headphones and everything.
There will be a limited number of fans allowed at the track. I'm trying to find the PDF for the Sebring entry list.
The IMSA website's not only showing the auto races.
The site cannot be reached is not the answer I wanted. But I'm going to try to pull up on Firefox because Chrome.
Oh, come on! You know that link you just sent me, Joseph? Joseph, you know that link you just sent me? This one, hopefully that.
All right, try this one. iRacing? What the hell? This is the iRacing entry list. What the hell?
We don't need the iRacing entry list.
That's from March.
What the heck?
NBC, come on.
NBC really does not want us to succeed. I guess let me go try to. Maybe this will work. Let me go check.
But we do know there's 29 cars on the entry list.
We know that Meyer Shank is not on the entry list, which is interesting. Maybe this one. I think I maybe found one. Maybe, I don't know. I'm just looking through. No, I do not want Daytona info website. Jeez.
Well, tickets are for sale though, which is a good thing. Entry list. Sebring July entry list. I found it. It was on the IMSA website this whole time.
Yeah, but for me, it wouldn't let me click on it.
All right, I sent you guys the link. So yeah, let's start off with the prototype class. My prediction will be Mazda's. They finished first and second at Daytona, so I'm gonna go with the number 77 Mazda's because they got the hometown driver from my city, Tristan Nunez. Tristan, if you're watching, best of luck. And Oliver Jarvis for the Mazda DPI.
Okay. My pick for the DPI, this team, they have experienced drivers. My pick is the number 5 Mustang Sampling Racing JDC Miller Motorsports driven by João Barbosa and Sebastian Bourdais.
Okay, well, I was gonna say something about my picks, but to see if we're building up to it. From Acura Team Penske, number 7 of Castro Neves and Ricky Taylor.
And I also have Castro Neves and Ricky Taylor as well.
All right. So down to LMP2 class, they are 5 entries. Surprisingly, because we only had 4 at the 24-hour race at Daytona. And obviously, there were none at the Daytona 240, which was last week. So my prediction for that class, just looking here, you got Tower Motorsport by Starworks. I know they've been Ryan Dalzio's there, but I have to think this is tough. But I'm going to go with Tower Motorsport by Starworks, John Ferrano, the Canadian, and Great Britain's Ryan Dalziel of Veteran.
Okay.
Are we on GTD?
That's mine as well, Justin.
Okay.
Are we on GTD?
No, we're on the LMP2 class. My pick for LMP2, is the 38 Performance Tech Motorsports driven by Cameron Castles and Kyle Mason.
And I have to say the same for Joseph. The same pick for Joseph.
Yeah, that's Tower Motorsports by Starworks, number 8.
Yes.
As for the next class, we have the GTLM, which is the GTE class. There are 6 cars total, 2 Corvettes, 2 BMWs, 2 Porsches. Which one will be first at the end of this short race this coming weekend?
GTE. I have to go with the Porsche. The Porsche 911. Those guys have been really good so far.
Okay. My pick for the GTLM is the number 912 Porsche.
Yes, Earl Bammer, Lawrence Vantor, great pair. But I'm going to go with the 912 Porsche. I was going to go with Nick Tandy, Fred Makovicki. They're good drivers, but I think the 912 has a better combo. Earl Bammer, Lawrence Vantor. They've been working together for a long time, just like the other 2 drivers. But I don't know. I feel like they're like so identical with the performance because the chemistry is really high, seeing them race around the world. But Lawrence Vantor just runs blistering laps. It's hard to stop him.
Okay, y'all people are forgetting one thing. They did it for Dale. Corvette Racing number 3.
Yes.
You know I had to do it.
They did. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick the number 3 Corvette team. But yes, can I also make another pick? No. How about Meyer Shank Racing, the 86?
They're not on the entry
let's
list.
get down.
They're not on the entry list this week.
They're set out for this one.
Oh, okay, okay. GTP, never mind. I'll pick
10 entries total. There is an Acura team NSX on the list. That's the number 22. This new team, Gradient Racing, Unit Nutrition, with Tim Betchelsheimer and Mark Miller. But I think experience is going to play a factor with the GT3s that are out there. Only 10 of them. Number 14, Jack Hawksworth and Aaron Telitz will go back-to-back and win in that category.
Okay.
So I got Lexus. Who do you guys have?
Okay, my pick is the only Lamborghini Huracan GT3, the number 44 GRT Magnus of Andy Lally and John Potter.
I'm going to have to go with the same pick as you, Justin. The Acura.
Again, I'm going off a blind result. Rick, we're racing. No, I'm just kidding.
They're not in this one.
You know I had to. I think I must have read this wrong. This is a random guess. I don't know why. Unless they're not running GRT Magnus Racing Team of 44. Are they on there?
Yes, they
Yes,
are.
they
Eddie Lally,
are.
John Parr. They're a great duo.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, well, I said it, and I'm sticking to it.
And you made a good prediction with that. All right, so let's move along. Let's move along to 3 races this weekend for the supercars for the Sydney Super Night or Sydney Super Sprint Dos. We had mid-June, obviously, for the first week back. This is week 4 of 11 rounds, 10, 11, and 12 of 25. Obviously, this year it was Scott McLaughlin taking the win.
And he's going to do it again.
First race was John Bell back in 1992. Most wins, Mark Scaife with 6. Marcus Ambrose has 3. Craig Lowndes with 3. Glenn Seaton with 2. And Shane Van Gisbergen with 2 as well. Most team victories. Holden Racing Team holds that with 7. Triple Eight Race Engineering and DJR Team Penske are now tied with 4 wins apiece. Obviously, thanks to Scotty and Shane Van Gisbergen this year. Stone Brothers Racing with 3 and Glenn Seaton Racing with 2. Most make victories. It's close, but Holden has the upper end. 13. I mean, it's just 2 more than Ford.
I think Ford can get there.
All right, who's going race 1? There's 3 races this weekend.
What kind of question is that, Joseph?
I know, because you want to say Scott McLaughlin and not have that
of course, man.
Yeah, but last time he didn't win.
But you know what? I'm gonna swallow my pride for just 1 minute for 1 race and say Jamie Wynn Cup.
Yeah, that's more like it.
I'm gonna swallow my pride for 1 race, and then the other 2 races are all Scott McLaughlin. I'm gonna pick Jamie Wynn Cup for race 1.
Oh,
there, you happy, Joseph?
I'm very happy because with that logic, I have Jamie Wynn Cup not winning race 1. That's Scott McLaughlin, but he's gonna win race 2 and 3.
Hell no.
Well, my pick, Scott McLaughlin will win race 1. Race 2, Shane Van Gisbergen will win race 2. Race 3 will be Scott McLaughlin again.
This is getting symmetrical.
I like that styling, Joseph. No, Justin, sorry.
Yeah.
And by the way, according to the schedule, they're supposed to visit Sydney once more later this season if changes aren't being made again. Because remember, Victorian teams, they went through a lot of hell this past week. Having to make a sudden switch to New South Wales and sit over there. But what we have now, it will be interesting. You know, Darwin's coming up, which is about a month from now. So you better get your game on. Looking at the points, Scott McLaughlin has 574 over Jamie Wynn Cup with 525. And then from there on, it's over like 100. Then third place, Chaz Mostert. It ain't looking so well for them right now. If you're not Scott McLaughlin and Jamie Wynn Cup, it's time to get your game on. Don't let them walk away. Don't let the dogs break the leash and run away like they did last year. It's a bad analogy. With that said, let's get into the fun part. The one I want to say for last. The 2020 NASCAR All-Star Race will be ran for the first time ever at Bristol Motor Speedway. Only one track, Atlanta, in the second ever running back in 1986, held the second running of what was then the Winston. The first race was won by Darrell Waltrip at Charlotte in 1985. Jimmy Johnson has the most victories with 4. Kyle Larson won the race last year
Well,
Jimmy Johnson, 4 wins total, not since 2013. Dale Earnhardt, Jeff Gordon tie with 3 wins. Then Davey Allison, Terry Labonte, Mark Martin, and Kevin Harvick have 2 wins apiece. As for the teams, Hendrick Motorsports, you want to be an all-star driver, Hendrick car, you get 8 wins there. Richard Childress Racing with 4 wins with Ross Fenway Racing. Team Penske with 3. Junior Johnson, Robert Yates Racing, Joe Gibbs Racing, Stuart Haas Racing, and Chip Ganassi Racing have 2 wins apiece. As for makes, Chevy has 18 wins in the All-Star race. 12 wins for Ford. Dodge and Toyota share 2, and Pontiac has 1. Back in 1989 with the culprit Rusty Wallace. Yeah, people weren't too happy with him that day. Justin, it happened again. It happened again. You're mute. Your computer pulled a trick.
Now I'm back.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you talking to me? I'm sorry.
Microsoft.
I'm zoning out here.
Microsoft can't freaking do anything right. They can't update anything. They have to learn how to do something. Because their last update is kind of creating bugs. And they say that it's all good, which I don't think they didn't do anything right.
All right, let's just proceed with the 2020 All-Star. Let me see. Okay, so here are the drivers eligible in the All-Star race. So you win last year, you win this year, you're a former winner, you're in. These drivers are in the All-Star race. Kurt Busch, Brad Keselowski, Kevin Harvick, Ryan Newman, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Busch, Eric Jones, Joey Logano,
Martin Truex Jr.,
Matt Kenseth, Jimmy Johnson, Martin Truex Jr., Justin Haley, and Alex Bowman
I was about to say, which Joseph
in off eligibility.
Which also today was revealed the starting lineup for the All-Star race and the Open, both. Which do you want to know? Guess where Justin Haley's starting? He's starting
P3.
4th. No, he's 4th. P4 on the outside. I don't know what if he has normal. If he has normal Spire equipment, that's not gonna be good on the initial start of it. But people are wondering, what about the other spot? There's 3 segments, so whoever wins segment 1 and 2, segment 3 in the fan vote, so there's 20 total drivers. So like whoever wins segment 1 in the Open, segment 2 in the Open, whoever wins the Open itself, the whole race, and whoever wins the fan vote, those are the other 4 spots, 17th through 20th for the All-Star. And if people don't know who's on the poll for the Open, it's Michael McDowell in the 34 next to Eric Almirola. Yeah, that's interesting. Michael McDowell's on the poll, which the 66 did withdraw from the Open.
William Byron wins the Open. Bubba Wallace wins the fan vote.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, Open win. I'm gonna go with for the Open. It's really up for grabs. Eric Almirola, because honestly, he doesn't belong in the Open.
Well,
but as for the All-Star fan vote, Bubba Wallace. Okay. Who's gonna win the All-Star race? With that said, this will be a popular victory for the one and only Chase Elliott. This driver that can really wheel a race car at a short track in front of 30,000 fans.
Okay, my Open pick. For me, the winner of the Open, Clint Boyer. My fan vote picked Bubba Wallace. Okay, my All-Star race winner, this driver, he has no wins at a short track, but he has wins in his career already. But he's never won at a short track. Some races at a short track, he does decent. This driver will start second in the All-Star race. This driver, he drives for Hendrick Motorsports. Alex Bowman will win the All-Star race.
I agree with that. 100%. That's my pick as well. No bet. I had it way before he was going to say it. I said.
All right.
It's better than picking Justin.
I had Chase Elliott.
Well, it's better than picking Justin Haley. I don't even know what equipment he has under that car.
I hope they give him as best of equipment as possible.
If it's the worst Spire equipment, oh my gosh, that's not gonna go fast on the straight.
Yeah, I think we've had everything covered in this podcast.
2 hours.
Let's cover the stuff with this new racing series that has been formed by two geniuses in the sport, Tony Stewart, Ray Evernham. On short tracks, this is meant to somewhat emulate and replicate what was the IROC Series International Race of Champions, which is last ran 14 years ago.
That's what we call version 2.
Yes. We've seen attempts at bringing back IROC with the Race of Champions, which is like rally cars, essentially what you see in the X Games with rally cross. Last year, we saw a Formula 3 spec series called the W Series for the best women in the world. Now, this is 2 steps higher, back to IROC, if not the step. Tony Stewart's a great race promoter. Ray Evernham is a genius. And now they signed a contract to do TV with CBS in 2021. They're set. Well, I think we're set as well. Thank you guys for watching the Volley Online podcast. We'll be back for episode 68. You can tell I'm tired.
It was a long one, 2 hours.
Yeah. For my partners, Daniel Ford, Austin LaPlante, and Justin Hebert, I'm Joe Laney Pavlon.